Well, first of all, the key components to a collaborative divorce are that the parties are in control of the process and the decisions that end up being the resolution in the process. It's a completely confidential process. So as it differs from litigation, you're not in court with everybody hearing your issues. And it's in a supportive team environment. So each party still has their own lawyer to support them in the process. They also have a mental health professional that is there to support them in the process with being able to communicate their needs and interests and also help them with any roadblocks that they might be having in the process. And then other team members are brought into that process, into that supportive environment based on the needs of the particular parties or the case. So, for example, usually there's a financial person that's brought into the process who will handle what's called the disclosures, which are required in all family law cases, and handle those. Or, you might need a business valuation, so you might bring in a team member who would handle that. Or you might need to have a retirement valued, or you might need to have a house appraised. So you might bring in different team members to address a particular need of the team or of the parties during the process. There's also what's called a child specialist who's brought in as a team member who handles issues that the parties may be having around their children. And it's very different than what happens in litigation, where if the parties can't agree, they're going to a mental health professional who's usually making a recommendation to the court as to what's in the best interest of the children. Again, parties giving up control about, how to handle what's best for their own children. In the collaborative process, a child specialist comes in, meets with the child separately, meets with the parents separately, and then brings information back to the team on what's in the best interest of the children, and what's happening with them developmentally, how they're experiencing the divorce. And it's just a really great piece of information for the parties then, who sometimes for the first time are hearing about needs that their kids have that they have had no clue beforehand. And then bringing that information back, and instead of making a recommendation about, well, based on this information, this is what I recommend is best, for a parenting plan, the information is brought back, and then there's a discussion had, and then the parties themselves, with the support of the team, come up with a plan that's best for their children. And so these types of agreements that come from this process tend to be much more long-lasting and satisfactory to the parties, because they're creating their own solutions with the assistance of professionals who are all trained in their specific areas. So everybody's working at their most efficient level.